Unapologetic Truth Channel with Arakia. Shalom all. I just want to share this story with you. Many of you may have already heard about this, but in case you haven't, I want to share it with you. And I also want to talk a little more in depth as to the significance of this story. This is about the 1-year-old baby that was found crawling. They say it was in a ditch, but it was crawling in the grassy area of a highway. His brother, which I believe was 4 years old, unfortunately he perished. But this baby ended up surviving for 2 days on the side of the road. And it wasn't until a trucker had found this baby is when the story obviously broke. This is a portion from the article on truckersnews.com about what occurred. This is the first-hand account from the trucker. Reginald Walton, a driver for DHL Supply Chain, was driving on I-10 when he saw what he first thought was a toy doll that had been discarded. Then Walton saw the baby move. He slowed down and stopped and immediately called 911. Quote, "So I got out of my vehicle and walked back down to where I thought I saw the child, and sure enough, there was a little boy sitting down there." End quote, Walton told TV station KADN. He goes on to say, "He smiled at me. Then he stood up and started crying and walked towards me. And once he walked toward me, I grabbed his hand and he stopped crying." The child had numerous bug bites and had survived 2 days of foul weather associated with Hurricane Beryl, but was otherwise unharmed. The fact that someone would abandon a child really hurt my heart, said Walton in this TV interview. "It just really hurt my heart to see that. But I believe that it was God, the Most High Yahuwah, that had me there at the right place at the right time." Again, this was the statement, first-hand account from the trucker, Reginald Walton. It's just, of course, it's sad, and it's really hurtful that he had to lose his brother in this process, in what happened. We're assuming it had to do with the weather, but of course the mother, they are charging the mother, and so she is being held currently. When I say it is amazing in the sense that this child survived in those 2 days in the elements, in the conditions, and this trucker had found this child. And so when I watched the other report about it, where they actually had interviewed the trucker, he was a Yasharite. Okay, that to me was significant as well. The other thing was this baby, this toddler, was also a Yashar. And what's significant about it, this story, because of course they're calling this baby a miracle baby. Okay, so the wording is significant as well. But as I was reading the book of Yashar, Jasher, which I am actually going through and doing audio readings of some of the chapters. And another thing that was significant to me was just today, this particular chapter that I was reading spoke to this situation. And this, again, is why I say the Bible is no ordinary book. It literally is coming to pass in real time. Many of us know that, but there's so many that don't understand how powerful of a book the Bible is. It is not to be played with. It's a serious, true prophetic book that pertains to a heritage of the people. I first heard about this story last night, and only in seeing the report that as time goes on, naturally the news, as they get other details on things, they will expound. And so I saw this other reporting about it that gave more detail. The interview, like I said, of the trucker that was involved. The Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, literally made me just brought back to my remembrance. Only a few hours earlier, I had read in Jasher this passage of scripture, which I am sharing with you now. And this passage of scripture talked about, this was just to give the setting on this passage of scripture. This had to do with Moses, at the time when he was born. The decree had went out based on Pharaoh's dream that the male children of Yashar had to be exterminated, specifically by being thrown in the river, in the water, the Nile River. Of course, Jasher expounds. It gives much greater detail than Genesis. So these are the details that are in the book of Jasher, where it speaks about that. And this is how Moshe ended up being found by Pharaoh's daughter in the basket in the Nile. And many of us know that story. I'm not going to go any further in regard to that. But this particular passage, which is chapter 67 of the book of Yashar, Jasher, specifically talks about how the Most High Yahuwah protected those male children that were being born to the Yasharali or Israelite women. And again, on the screen, you can read that. Stop the video, read it at your leisure. But it talks about how these children were protected by the Most High Yahuwah, specifically by a malach or angel, messenger. And I believe that was Yahushua specifically. That's my opinion. I believe that's, as many times the word refers to the angel of the Lord. But it's pretty obvious to many of us that when it speaks of that particular angel or messenger, it's referring to Yahushua, Messiah. And so I believe specifically in regard to Yashar 67, it was Mashiach or Messiah. Do I know that? Of course not. But I certainly can ask for confirmation, but I just believe that. I believe that very strongly in my ruach, in my spirit. So it talks about how the children were protected, how they were fed, how the earth literally had taken care of them. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. As the herbs, Herbs, that was an analogy that was used in the passage of scripture. So, what I received in my spirit, in my ruach about this, which was again another reminder that the word is coming to pass in real time, and it just gave me so much joy. And I just thank Abba, Yahuwah, for revealing this to me, was the fact that this baby that was found in the field, was found 2 days later. How did that baby survive the elements in that lab? And the amazing thing about it is that baby wasn't crying. It wasn't, according to the account of the trucker, the baby wasn't in duress. And you can look for the trucker's specific account of that, and I'll try to share that if I can, but I just had a little difficulty getting that particular video to be edited correctly, so I had to use something else. But regardless, the trucker's account of what happened, he says specifically that baby that smiled at him. That's one of the first things he said when he saw the baby. The baby smiled, was not in duress, and then the baby cried a little bit. He held the baby's hand. The baby immediately stopped crying. So if it was that just told me that baby was taken care of in those 2 days. And looking at that passage of the scripture in Yashar 67, it's all the evidence that we need. Again, Father is showing us, Abba is showing us that His word never comes back void. That baby, I truly believe that baby was taken care of in the same way that the Yasharali or the Israelite children were taken care of back in Moshe's time. It's the same thing. This is the same type of instance. Now, do we know was the baby fed specifically, and that's the way the same passage, the breakdown of the passage? No, we don't. But it's just an example of how these things can still occur, still take place. There's nothing new under the sun. It can happen today, and it's proof that this is still going on. So anybody that has any level of spiritual discernment that can see that, especially because, yes, we don't wrestle with flesh and blood, but we have to contend with principalities. So if that be the case, on a negative end. Why can't this happen on a positive end? We know Malachim messengers exist. You know, there's a video that's going viral about that very thing. But I had to share this because it blessed me so much, and I was just like, oh my goodness. I didn't even make the connection at first until it was dropped in my spirit. Like, hey, remember this? You just read this today. This is what Abba Yahuwah is showing us. Again, his word does not come back void. It is the truth. It is deep. And we have to, especially the children of Yashar, we got to get in this word, and we got to understand how deep and how pertinent it is to our lives. So I just wanted to share this. Please, if you're commenting, share your thoughts. Be respectful, because disrespect will not be tolerated. Again, I thank you for all your support. Thank you for the love, the prayers, the likes, the shares. Oh, I wasn't even trying to rhyme. I really wasn't. But again, thank you so much. Praying for you all. I pray if you do not know salvation through Yahushua HaMashiach, Yashar, get it right. Get right, because time is drawing nigh. And on that note, I'm going to say again, Shalom. Love y'all.